And we can take questions.
Oh, it's a great win. Kids played extremely hard. I thought that was maybe overall our best team victory, of the season, as far as just every aspect of the games, offense, defense, special teams, being a factor in a positive way. And it's never perfect, but we knew this was going to be a battle. We knew it was going to be physical. I appreciate the kids listening to me and understanding when I talked to them about the toughness of the team that was walking in here. That's a tough team, and they'll be tough every week. They'll be tough every year, and a lot of respect for BYU, and but it's great to beat them. So away we go. But proud of this football program and the way they handled themselves and the way they took care of business this week.
Got microphones on each side. Jeff.
Yuri, I know you always salute the players when they make plays, but can you talk about the defensive game plan that was devised to especially contain Hill and that offense in general?
Yep, absolutely. I thought they did a nice job as a staff, Dave and his staff, and they were highly worried walking into this game. But if you look at it and some different things that took place, Dez moves out the corner, Nate moves out, Nate Hammond moves out and has to play on the Matthews kid a lot in some man-to-man situations, and those are matchups that you look at on film, and you prepare and study like crazy, and then put the kids in position and with the game plan you think will work. I thought our pressure on the quarterback was good. The adjustments were good. We were able to get Chris freed up a little bit on some rushes. Our pass rush in the second half wasn't quite as good, but the other thing is the game plan as far as handling the pace. The pace was a non-factor. And that was huge for us. There wasn't confusion. There wasn't guys, running around and looking and seeing what was going to happen or where we were going. So the coaches did a nice job, like I talked about earlier. It's got to go from the coordinator, it's got to get personnel group to the coordinator, onto the field to the kids, and then they've got to make their calls and get themselves lined up. And they did that in a timely manner the whole day long. So the coaches did a great job, and the kids executed.
Andy.
Yuri, to what degree did you personally reach out to your Utah connections to prepare for this game?
Not a lot. I talked to Kyle a little bit this week, Kyle Whittingham, the head coach of Utah. Spent a little time with him. I'm sure Coach Aranda, reached out and talked to a few different people, but it's kind of the film at this point. There's so many game films, that you get to look at now that you kind of know who people are.
Jeff.
You talked about James White's performance last week at Iowa. Were there some similarities in this one? Is that there weren't a lot of big plays, but it looked like he made some plays here and there, both as a receiver, runner, picking up blitzes a couple times?
Yeah, and then I was going to say, the first thing I'll say about James, everybody sees him run the ball, everybody sees him score those big touchdowns. Trust me, those are tremendous plays, but there's one play in that game, there was a corner blitz. Corner was free off the edge. There's no way Joel gets that ball off, and Joel's turned, his back is turned, and he's cocked and ready to throw the ball, and it was a big play. I can't remember exactly how many yards it got, if it was third down or what it was, but it was a big play, and we got a completed pass. But James scanned it, came back, looked across protection, and bumped the corner right off. And those plays are huge plays. In that point in the game, we ended up scoring on that drive, so it was good. He's playing very well at a high level, and then the other one he popped was a lot like the Iowa run. You thought, okay, it's 3rd and 2. Well, it looks like he got the first down, and the next time you look up, he's in the end zone doing that little dance they do. I love that dance. So, but it's James is playing very, very well at a high level.
What did you like specifically about the matchup with Desert Corner on number 2?
Well, Hoffman is so physical, and Matthews is too. You've got to have some length to be able to, stay with them. Those contested balls they get up there, and they caught a great contested ball on the fade in the second half. I don't know what else you can tell Des to do really in that situation. He got a little bit beat off the line or what have you, but I thought he covered him well. So it was just clearly matchups, allowing our kids to be able to get physical with them at the line of scrimmage. We felt like we could gain an advantage pre-snap, and hopefully our rush would take off or make the fade balls be difficult. It's kind of the essence of man coverage, if you will, is to disrupt and take offenses out of their comfort zones.
Andy.
Is James the most complete back you've been around? And are you talking about the blitz pickup on the 2-minute drill? Is that the one you're referring to?
What am I so dazed right now? My mind, all the plays go through there, but I don't know which one it was. But he had a bunch of them. But yeah, you know what, James is. I would agree with that. His ability to block and be physical, his ability to be a downhill runner, have some speed on the outside, and catch the football is a very unique package, and he can do all that stuff very well.
Adam.
Gary, one more about James. How much of this do you attribute just to the urgency of being a senior, his kind of time here is winding down the way he's performing in the last few weeks?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are important to James. That's a big part of it, because he loves Wisconsin, he loves his teammates, there's no doubt about it. He does see that the time ticking on him day by day, and I think it gives kids a little bit of an edge, especially when you're a senior. I know it sure did for me when I was playing, and I know these kids, they want to be together for a long time. And so I'm sure that fuels his fire, but he has a big desire to play at the next level, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with talking about that, and that's my goal, and that's where I want to be, and he's got to play well to have that opportunity. So a lot of things drive James, but the number one thing that drives him is the University of Wisconsin and getting victories with his teammates, I promise you that.
Gary, do you sense any sort of emotional lift from having Tyler Dibble back?
Tyler was able to get in front of the kids prior to, in the locker room when we left. And I would bet that was a little edge, gave me an edge. Not that matters on game day for me, whether I have an edge or not too much, but the edge that our kids have, they seem to be prepared every week, and they were ready. I think but it was good for them to see Tyler, and when we go for our team walk in the morning, Tyler was what we call our post. He was our first guy that every kid on the team got to shake his hand, and that was just a way to welcome him back and say, let's go. And I think this was great for Tyler to be able to go out and compete and then have an evening with his teammates. It would be great.
When did he get back into town, and was there any question in your mind or his whether or not he was going to be able to go?
Late last night, 8:30ish, I would say, around there when I got a text back from him. No doubt in my mind he'd be able to play limited. Pat Muldoon took the little playbook with him and his iPad with him, and they studied some film and got themselves where they needed to be. And I know Tyler did that on the flight over here, and he got the game plan in his mind. And if anybody can come in and do that, it'd be that group of defensive linemen, because they'll study it like crazy and get ready.
John?
Clearly, Wisconsin and BYU aren't rivals, but considering your past, does this win mean any more to you?
Yeah, I can't say it doesn't. It's a big victory when you grow up, and that's the team that you're not supposed to like from the time that whenever you start learning things. But we all know I got great respect for BYU, and I can't say I dislike them. I don't. It's a competitive team, and it's a big win for us at the University of Wisconsin. It gets us to 7 wins, improves our opportunity to have an opportunity to be a great team, and we're still working down those lines to get there. We've got to keep on fighting to get ready for next year.
Jeff?
Gary, the other day we were talking to Dave Aranda about red zone defense. He was talking about how teams like to go side to side when they get closer. There was a play, the third down play, you guys were up 7-zip. It looked like Tyler flushed the quarterback, and then Caputo came up and closed on him and resulted in an incompletion. Can you address the importance of that, getting that stop there, holding them to a field goal instead of a touchdown?
Our red zone defense, they really have an attitude when they get out there, and plays like that have been made. You go back to the Iowa game, go to this game tonight, and allow those guys to get in there and kick a field goal are huge momentum swings. The defense, it's not what they want. At the end, they want 0 points, but if you can walk out, once you get in the red zone, the gears shift, and if you get them to kick a field goal, it's job well done. That is the bottom line, and they've done a good job with that. They didn't like giving up that one there at the end. That was a little disheartening for them, but they're solid, they're salty down there. And I've been around some defenses in the past that may not have that belief. They get down in the red zone, and it's like, oh man, the field's short. The fact of the matter is, it's hard for people to score down there if they play solid defense.
BYU seemed to do a pretty good job of limiting Melvin's explosiveness. Is he full strength?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think Melvin he's good in practice, looks fast and clean, and those kids on BYU, they're fast, they can run, and they're good tacklers.
Gary, you said the players were a little bit disheartened by that last score. Is there any disappointment at any level about having to scratch and claw in a game that looked like you pushed it away and deal with it?
None whatsoever. I think we were in a good spot, and you play a good team, you're going to have to grind like crazy to get the victories at the end. And, the one drive, would you like to have it back? Always, but we won, so that's all that matters. 7-2, baby.
Tom?
It seemed like Joel had a chance for a couple touchdown passes. What did you see in his performance?
Yeah, he'd love to have the one back, obviously, which we all saw, but overall, Joel seemed to have pretty good poise in the pocket, made some big throws. The touchdown throw he had to at the end of the second quarter was huge. Looked around, scoured the field. Trust me, that's not probably his first, second, or third look in that throw, and he checked the ball down and scored a touchdown to James. That was a big time play. But Joel is again checking the run game. He's managing the game, and I don't think you can underestimate those words. Managing the game is very important for our offense. It always will be, and he's handling it well. So you always want to dissect the quarterback and look for perfection. That's never going to happen in any position. So he's getting better every week.
Adam?
Gary, what's your message to the team as you guys get back into Big Ten play this week with Indiana, the goals that are still out there for you guys?
You know, no real message, just business as usual. The biggest message I keep sharing with them is now everything we do is 3 guarantees left, and we'll get to that bowl game and have fun when we get to that opportunity. And in regular season right now, we're sitting in the Big Ten, we're 4-1, and we have the ability to do some special things and have a special record in the Big Ten. But that's all out there. 3 games left. We'll see what happens.
Could you talk about Chris Borland coming back and what it meant to this team and how his performance really helped the Russian defense?
Yeah, well, you can see his plays when he flies around there. He smacks some guys pretty good today, and he plays with such a high level of intensity and a want to. But there is just a little bit extra when Chris is out there on the field as far as leadership. But the thing I like about this defense is I can't say this defense is waiting for Chris Borland to make plays, which is good to see. And Chris he'll get his when he have 13 tackles a day or whatever it was. He's made some great plays and will continue to do that. But this defense is very happy to have him out there, and I am too. It's nice to see him running around out there.
Jeff?
Gary, you said there'd be no special message after this game. Do you think they've handled their business since the Ohio State loss? Just not worrying about, they've been asked about the BCS, they've been asked about the Big Ten Championship, but they haven't, it seems like they haven't worried about them.
No, I don't think they're worried about that one bit. All that stuff, it's not in your control. Why worry about things that you can't control? Just get ready to prepare, and all we can control is the next opponent, and do a good job on Saturdays and take care of ourselves as a football team. And they got enough to worry about if they worry about themselves socially, academically, and then athletically. Those kids got plenty to worry about. They don't need to worry about some poll.
Gary, all 3 of your scoring drives in the first half were 11 plays over 60 yards. How important was it for you guys to sustain some long drives and put some points on the board, keeping their offense off the field?
It was huge. I haven't looked at the stats to see the overall time of possession, but it was good for us to be able to continually drive the ball. And probably one of the best things you could say about the offense today is you didn't have a bunch of negative plays, right? I mean, there was some, obviously, a sack here, a run here, or whatever it may have been. But for the most part, BYU thrives on that type of defense, making the big plays behind the line of scrimmage. They thrive on turnovers, and we were able to handle that for the most part and keep the game within our control so they don't get in a feeding frenzy. And that's the type of defense they played for years and years, and that's how I believe our defense is built too. You want those kids to feel like that on defense. I don't think we ever let them get completely settled.
Andy?
You're seeing plays that Tanner McAvoy's playing. Do you still have him in your quarterback picture going forward after this season?
I haven't even thought about it. He's a safety next week, and we'll move on from there. I don't know about that one.
Jeff?
Do you feel comfortable with the way Jack Russell is now hitting the ball? I mean, he had the one that was wiped out last week. He got his first 2 today.
Yeah, I thought after the first PAT, he really started to get the ball up even better and seemed to strike it pretty well today. So I'm proud of those crew of specialists. It's they're having some success, and it's good to see. It's fun to see it, and it's fun to see the support they have of each other. Kyle's out there supporting Jack now, and they're all working as a unit, and good for them. It's good to see.
Can you talk about Caputo's role in stopping, particularly some of the quarterback runs?
Yeah, well, when they get in the quarterback runs, they go +1 on you really quick, and if you're back there and 4 wide receivers set, and you got the offensive line sitting there, and the running backs in the backfield wants to go be a lead blocker, you don't have a +1 in the box unless you cheat that safety down there real quick, and that's what Michael did today. And I thought he was very physical for the most part on his tackles, and that kid will throw it in there. You want to talk about tough, physical, want to, care factor. It's all rolled up in one with that young man, and he's in a position to where it's great to see him have success, but he's also very smart. He gets things lined up, and he did everything today. He blitzed, he played the post, he played man-to-man coverage, you name it, he was everywhere.
Gary, back to McAvoy, if you don't mind, do you think that might have been his most complete performance with the big play, the pick early, and then just flying around?
Yeah, he seemed to, it's just get a little bit more comfortable, I think, every week with him, and that was a big play. I hope he would've got the pick, because it was like it was lobbed up in a softball game to hit it out of the park. So he got that one, made that play, and he's also made some more physical. I think he's becoming more confident in the post. I think he's getting more confident in breaking his angles and reading the quarterback's eyes, and he's getting more confident in his tackling ability. So he's improving, and he has enough games underneath his belt now where there's no excuse really for him not to play well.
Anything else?